Guys, movement on keyboard and mouse is insane this year. Give me a break! Stop spawning on me! Jeez! Stop it! What? Don't tell me you just do not... You better have ran there. I'm gonna give a bunch of tips that works on controller too, so don't click off the video. I'm going to first of all explain what is actually useful type of movement, you know? None of this spinning around. Before we start, make sure you watch my keybind guide for keyboard and mouse. And I want you guys to do one more thing. Turn off grounded mantle and set up a mantle key. I use caps lock, as you see right here. Biggest advantage we have against controller players. I'm sorry for you controller players, but this is a genuine advantage we have. If you don't have this set up the way I have it set up, sometimes when you want to jump, let's say here, you're fighting someone and you want to jump, you might accidentally mantle this, as you can see here. Instead of jumping, I'm mantling. And look what the bullets are doing when you mantle. They fly everywhere because it's turning you to hip fire. With grounded mantle off, however, watch this. Aim stays perfectly where you want it to be. We can jump on objects while being extremely accurate and not having to worry about accidentally mantling the object. So instead, all I have to do if I do want to mantle is press caps lock, as you see right here. Easy. It's not difficult. Just press caps lock to mantle stuff. You can still mantle by double pressing as well, but generally, we're now going to be able to just easily jump over spots without accidentally mantling. Next up, slide cancel. Either slide with your crouch button and then press jump, or slide with your prone button and then press jump. Doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. Important thing to know, bunny hopping is dead. Don't do it. This is what bunny hopping looks like. It's super slow. You can do this in different ways. Let's say you know someone is coming here. Well, you can jump and slide on the object right here to throw them off. That's a lot of different types of movement that they have to deal with. Next movement tip, in basic gunfights, what you want to do during a gunfight if you're shooting at someone, near the end of a gunfight, if you're about to kill them, jump. Why do you want to jump near the end of the gunfight? Well, when you jump near the end of the gunfight, your character does a very snappy acceleration in the movement, let's call it. And this slight bit of extra push can allow the enemy to miss just that one bullet as you finish off their health. I think you're gonna see a lot of CDL pros in CDL do this as well during gunfights. They'll probably jump near the end of the gunfight to make sure the enemy misses the last final bullets, but who knows. Next tip is to alternate your movement. If you know someone likes holding angles, right here let's say, don't always slide around the corner to get them. Sometimes you can slide. Other times jumping and sliding is a good way to throw them off. And here's a little tip. Let's say you do get someone low health after shooting. If you watched my keybind guide, you will be able to move side to side like this without your sprint to fire being compromised, because you won't be sprinting left to right. So what that allows us to do is, after the slide, we can just jump peek it like this and finish them off. They won't expect something like this, you to be able to instantly shoot. And this trick I utilize very often. So I will, for example, slide, get them low, and finish them off with a simple jump around the corner like this. And the way I would suggest this is to hip fire walk, then jump around the corner and ADS. So right as I'm about to hit the corner, I jump and ADS. ADSing happens right after the jump. What this allows you to do is jump way further to get that secondary compared to being ADS and then jumping. As you can see, I jump way less far, which is easier to hit compared to hip fire and then ADSing. You see how far I just jumped compared to this? Twice as far. My next tip is to, under no circumstance ever, jump off of a high place like this. Why not? Well, this arc is super easy to track. It doesn't matter if they're controller or keyboard and mouse, that motion of just falling off is probably one of the easiest things to track in the game. Instead of jumping on a high place, slide off. Watch the acceleration as I slide off in comparison to jumping. Boom. That is going to be way more difficult to track than a simple jump. So please hardwire that in your brain to never jump off of a high place. Diving is already better than jumping. There's more of an acceleration going on with your character. After diving, you're stuck in place, as you can see right here. After sliding, however, you can slide again. You slide off and slide again. What do you think is going to be more difficult to track for the enemy? I think it's pretty obvious. Now, this doesn't mean diving is useless. The example I gave is based on a pretty open space. However, let's say you want to dive somewhere to get to the next hard point. In this case, this is an insanely good way to get to the hard point. As you can see, I'm on cover, I'm on the hard point, and there's no way anyone would have been able to hit me. And since we're keyboard and mouse players, we have that flicking ability, and therefore we can be aiming very easily as we're diving down and maybe even just get a kill while we're getting on the hard point. So one thing I highly suggest is slide on everything. Slide on the countertop, slide on the table, slide everywhere. It's gonna look crazy on the enemy's POV. Unfortunately, this year, snaking is absolutely overpowered. Just observe how my head basically doesn't go over the counter, but my bullets go straight to where the enemy could be. So yeah, that's kind of a problem this year. The way you snake is press backwards and prone at the same time. Then press sprint and forward at the same time and just repeat this process as you fire in between. As you can see, even on smaller objects, it makes your head go down and therefore can be a good way to save yourself if you're in an awkward spot. Next up, a crazy thing on this game is jiggle peeking. Observe the normal jiggle peek without sprinting. It's pretty good, right? Now observe Omni-movement jiggle peeking. Yeah, that's kind of busted. So if you want to get information, make sure you sprint while going side to side. And the way I suggest doing this is pressing sprint. Because if you guys followed my keybind guide, you can only enable auto tactical sprint by running forward. So in this case, we press the sprint button to go sideways and then jiggle peek. Don't constantly do it though, because then they're just going to pre-fire you. You can just do it like once here. Let's see here. Okay, okay. And then perhaps do the trick that I taught you earlier. Jiggle peek, wait, and you're gonna be able to instantly fire as you peek them like this. Guys, the next tip is huge. This is the difference between a freaking iridescent top 250 player, whatever you want to say it, and someone random, some Warzone player. Do not just walk around the map like this. Don't. You're gonna die. Let's say someone is holding that angle. Someone could be holding from that angle. Instead, let's say from here we want to move towards there. What are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna slide here, check that corner. Now we can peek this. Boom, there's no one, right? From here, if we want to go over there, we're gonna slide and prone so that we can see if someone is here. And guess what? Now we're covered from this side. If someone were to be camping there, we freaking dove under them. And then you can get up and check it. Boom. So that is the biggest mistake I see people make. Just running around the map. You always want to be sliding. And if you don't want to be too careful with cover, at least make sure you slide like every second or every 2 seconds. Because if you don't, you're gonna get caught sprinting by someone camping and you die. Always slide around towards the next cover if you can. Boom, next cover. Boom, next cover. Boom, next cover. And as you do that, you're gonna get better and better at it. You're gonna start realizing when you should slide and prone, when you should jump around the corner to peek something, when you should just slide and go the opposite way. Big tip when it comes to sliding, don't just slide. At least if you do slide forward, make sure you slide sideways afterwards. As you can see, slide and slide sideways. Slide forward, slide sideways. But what's even better in a lot of situations is run diagonally forward and then in the same direction you were going earlier, jump diagonally backwards. This is what that looks like. So from their POV, you're literally gonna be gliding around the floor, as you guys can see. It looks like I'm gliding. I stream live daily on YouTube and Twitch, whichever platform you prefer. Nuclear X with 2 N's. And yeah, subscribe or follow my Twitch. Catch you guys in the next video.